You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show.
Not expecting
Phil, you are a clever
Oh,
one.
yes. Love it. Are you ready for love?
We're ready for love here. Hey, everyone. Being is for doing, and we are doing our 4th after show for Ready for Love, a Vineyard, a trivia contest, and a food fight. I'm Samantha Laich, your host for tonight, and I'm joined by my 2 lovely co-hosts.
I am Jessica Carroll. Happy to be here.
And I'm Tara Johnson. Happy to be here.
And Giselle is out tonight, but she will be back next week, as well as somebody else that we will let you know about a little bit later in tonight's episode.
Love that.
So stay tuned. Let's start off, first of all, the way that the show started off. Mr. Tim Lopez, the rock star himself.
The rock star.
Yeah,
I
the
love
rock
that
star.
label.
NBC did put the title on it tonight, which is why we're pointing it out. How do you feel about it? We're getting to see a little bit more interaction between the guys. Do you guys have a favorite now? How are you feeling towards Tim?
I just have to say that Tim, for some reason, looked phenomenal this episode.
I
you
have
gonna say
no
baller?
idea why he looked so great
Like,
this episode.
he had an...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If I could do that,
yeah.
I would totally do it.
But thankfully Phil held
he
this
had
out.
a tan, like a little shine going on.
Oh,
This
I was-
glow.
I was just talking about his chest. That's
Oh.
all I was talking
Well,
about.
That's all we're focused
Yeah,
on.
for the first time we saw him with the shirt off, but even his face, he had a glow going on. I don't know
Yeah.
if he just, I don't know, he looked really good.
I completely agree. It was more together. It kind of seemed more of like his thing, not like,
Yeah.
okay, how am I supposed to look for you guys? It was au natural.
Yes, and he felt very comfortable.
Yeah.
I guess
agree.
pool tables, he just really likes them.
Hey, I enjoyed it. However it worked out, I enjoyed it.
Me too.
I think that just by the numbers, I think that Tim has the most compatible ladies left in his pool as of right now. I don't think that we're getting a lot of chemistry from a lot of them, unfortunately, at least now since there's so many, but at least we're getting something. His first thing,
I saw a
obviously,
little chemistry
but between a few of them.
between a few of them.
Yeah,
that's true.
but it's not everyone. So when we go down to the garden, I don't think that it's really as difficult as the decision as it seems,
True.
but
No.
I could be wrong. So we started off with a competition. It was Ready for Lopez. Very clever.
Yes.
Well done, producers. And Bill actually hosted this segment.
He stepped up. He was fantastic, I have to say.
He had a lot of talking time. Bill,
I
good
couldn't
job.
count. I couldn't count the words this time. It was so many.
Yeah.
No, we had to just, if we did our drinking game, and we would not be here right now. We would be hammered.
That's
and
true.
taking
Our
a nap.
drinking game, in case you want to know, was we drink every time Bill talks.
Bill got
Yeah.
to talk.
So we only had like 3 sips.
True.
But this episode,
We'd be totally wasted.
we were celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
Giving us a run for our money. But he got to host, and it was basically a competition so that Tim could figure out how much the girls actually knew about him, which I think is kind of interesting because we don't really know that much about him. I feel like we're getting the same kind of content and information repeated a little bit after the next, and we kind of learned that the girls know more about than we've gotten to see it, obviously. So at least they're not getting it as cut short as we thought that this process is going.
Right.
I have to say, of the 3 bachelors, Ernesto's personality is coming out. Ben's
Yes.
personality has been out on Front Street since day one.
And his lips.
Absolutely. And Tim, I still feel I don't really get him yet. I don't really know a lot. So this game was interesting for me because it gave me a little peek into who he is. Because I really, except for, the fact that he's a rock star and the band he sings in, I really the show hasn't told us a whole lot.
Yeah.
So this was interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that this has, with Tim, I mean, we know that the other guys were in relationships. Ernesto's never said, I love you to anyone. But Ben's dated someone in the past. Obviously, we know people that he's had feelings for. Cough, cough, Carrie. But I think that Tim, the way that we kind of see his relationships growing is a straight relationship to his past.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
the only one that's been married, the only one that's been divorced. So I think that that carries the heaviest weight on him, and that's why we're seeing him a little bit more reserved, not just by nature. I don't think that that's his personality. I just think that he's so used to having his other life and his wife, and now
Right.
coming off of that, he doesn't really know how to go from here. So he's kind of letting them take the center stage,
Yes.
and he's just kind of his own panel.
And he was the one that let go of his friend for 6 years or whatever, like on the, was it the
Right.
first episode?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's almost like when we saw, I feel like, the most of him.
Right.
Until this episode.
Right.
So we saw, through her, we saw a little bit of his past. And then this episode, we found out that if he was stranded on an island, he would bring his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
I had no idea.
I think that's
I
cute.
really honestly thought he was going to say his guitar.
I
That was
did
my
too.
guess. That was my guess.
I
was
mean,
like,
we've
guitar.
gotten forced with the music thing from him so much
So
that I
much.
think that that's just immediately what we were expecting.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cute, not only that that was what he would bring with him, but also that one of the girls, Jenna, she knew that about him. And I think that we've gotten to see that in past episodes, that they've actually had the biggest connection that we've seen. Haley, she's also had a really great connection, but it's been more of on a friend level, and they're not really connecting with the chemistry as far as the matchmakers are concerned. But Jenna, she knows kind of like the secrets. I feel like she kind of has this like Matt said, this magical hold on him, whatever it is, out of chemistry. And she's stepping it up. She knows her place.
Well, she must have enjoyed this game because she knows all these little secrets. She won the game. She was the winner.
Yeah. Which I predicted in my head. Well, it was not necessarily a prediction. It was more of like I was rooting for her. I was
Yeah.
like, I kind of want her to win because I wanted to see them together
Yeah.
again. Just because like Matt said in the last episode, we only got to see, like, thank goodness she's good looking. Because we
Right.
got to see their chemistry, but we didn't really get to see a huge interaction because she didn't have much to say.
Right.
Not
that-
that she had much to say this
I was gonna
episode
say,
either.
Did
but
that change? I mean, I think their relationship, I think they're cute. I think they have chemistry, but it's so surface and just physical to me. It's just fun and physical. Like the other girls were saying, are you really concerned about a 23-year-old or
Right.
20?
Yeah.
It's everyone, no one takes her seriously. And as Matt was saying, she really needs to step it up and show some substance. If she can get the physical with the substance, then she'll have it hands
Yeah.
down. But right now, we see nothing but, oh, can you take your shirt off? That's so cute. I mean, I'm not complaining, but, you know, she
Right.
helps
Right.
me out. But that's it. That's all they have right now.
Although because she just recently got out of college, all of her like investment right now is in Tim.
right.
True.
I mean, she doesn't really have anything else. She doesn't really have a career.
Yeah, she didn't forfeit her job to be there. or
Right. So
anything.
she is just interested in him and getting to know him, and that's where her like vision is right now. So I feel like maybe that's the reason why she's picking up on all these secrets, and maybe this is the reason why, you know, she's so into him. And yes, good thing she is good looking,
Right.
and yes, they have great chemistry, but I don't know, there's something about her that I really like, because I do think that she's there just for Tim.
Tim.
I do. I agree. I think
Yeah.
she's just there for Tim, but I don't think she really has anything else that will pull her attention away.
Well, she doesn't have a career.
Right,
She
she
doesn't
doesn't
have a past history of a fiance who, you know, died of cancer. Like, she doesn't really have anything to offer except for
True.
herself and who she is, and the fact that she is so invested in Tim and will be
Right.
there for him.
I think it all depends on what Tim's looking for. I mean,
Right.
ultimately, he's a divorcee. So
Yeah.
are you a divorcee? So are you looking for someone who's gone through the same thing and looking for someone a little more grounded, or you might just be looking for fun because he was in this relationship
Right.
for a really long time. There's nothing wrong with fun and someone who can make you laugh. So just all it kind of depends on what he's looking for. I don't think we know what he's looking for just yet.
No.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that that's what we see from Jenna is she is the youthful, like, I think that that takes him back to when he first fell for his, I mean, they were high school sweethearts,
Right.
but it's that chemistry, just like Ernesto said later in the episode, like when Elba slipped the note in his back pocket, everyone loves that that innocence and kind of like the challenge of just being young. You know? So it's kind of, that's I think what's just pulling him in, and it's making their relationship great. Whether or not she steps it up to the level of marriage, which is ideally I think what all the bachelors are looking for on this show, that will put her apart from the older women or the elderly women, that the more experienced women.
Yes. Although I do like where her head's going with the dares, taking off the shirt,
Yeah,
kissing
let's
on
talk
the
about
pool
those.
table.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, because at first when we were like, oh, game of pool, like we're like, hey, he's gonna help her show her how to shoot, but there was a little twist to it. It made it a little bit more interesting, and the fact that she got to write the dares, I think was awesome, because it showed where her mind was at, where she was willing to push the boundaries, and to see what he was willing to actually do.
And then that's also where we saw more of her personality.
Right.
True.
She's a little bit of a daredevil, you know. I don't know. I liked it.
She's playing it well. I
Yeah.
know, hands down, player handbook. She is playing it well.
If
So
she
I
learned
cannot
the
fault
game.
her.
If
Yeah.
she learned anything in school, it's how to play the game.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, she did have a defender, Miss Christina, interrupted the game. Which, let me just say, I get that. When they're having one-on-one time and the guy is saying, you know, Jess, I want to spend time with you. Will you step away with me for a second? I get it if you come in, Tara, and you try to pull him away. I do not like the fact that she interrupted the time that she won. That was the whole point of the game, is that was her prize.
Her prize.
She got the time with him. So it wasn't just, you know, he chose her to go in the other room and that she can interrupt. So I feel like that was a little kind of uncalled for.
Yeah.
The other ladies, they stayed classy. They stayed there. They waited their turn. They kind of left them have their alone time. They weren't happy about it, and they weren't pleased, of course. They were talking about it the entire time, but they respected her enough to let her have her prize.
Right.
And then we all see what happens when Christina interrupted, because then they started this line of questioning that she was not comfortable with, she wasn't ready for, and ultimately ended up getting her eliminated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I think that the way that it was kind of formatted, like, that's perfect, especially if you're making it out of a game and the guy sets it up, you know, like, I tell him something about me, you tell me something about you. It's perfect. Unfortunately, like the matchmaker said, it's not what you said, it's how you said it, and you didn't need to say it now. And the fact that, I think it was Matt that pointed this out, it's cool that you want to move away, that you want to do your own thing and you want to be living somewhere else, but you have to realize how far that just put you out of his goals and his dreams, because that's not what he wants. He's so embedded in the music industry. He has to be plugged in at all times, you know, and he loves where he's at. He doesn't want to be away from his family.
Right.
And now that's no longer what she wants. So where did it get her? Boom, bottom
home.
two.
Yeah.
At home, yeah.
When I was watching it and I heard her say, first the thing about, you know, having the female relationships, that's one thing. But then she was like, my plan after I leave here is to move off the grid and go up north. I was just like, I was even said, whoa, like, where did that come
Yeah, you're
from?
not
Why
retiring.
are you throwing that in
Yeah.
right now? That wasn't a part of the questioning. You know, the fun banter going back and forth, sharing stuff had ended. It was like a screeching record. I was like, where did that come from? Why are you throwing that in right now?
And I think that you could see that even off of his body language, which we can actually read into a lot on this show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had even said, because Tim was kind of leaning against the basketball game, and she was draped over him, kind of, you know, forcing attention on him, and he was very cold. He was holding on to the ball. His arms were crossed. He was not interested in what she was putting on him, because I think that immediately, like, after she said that, he was like, this is no longer a person that I can see in my future.
Absolutely.
Well, I just think it was like one right after the other. Like, first of all, he must have thought that the whole, you know, her once being interested in women, that probably caught him off guard.
True.
Big time. And then she keeps going on saying, you know, yeah, I know you're a rock star and this and that, but I don't want to deal with any of that, and I want to be off the grid.
Right.
Like,
Almost as if she were the bachelorette and he were there for her.
yeah.
And then he is the one that's going to have to make, you know, the changes and the exceptions and stuff and kind of move towards her way. But she's there to win. And
Right.
obviously she didn't play that very well
No.
because she lost. The matchmakers.
Although I must say, as the fashion total guru, her jewelry once again,
Amazing.
oh, her necklace was so cool. It had like,
amazing.
okay, I like her jewelry.
I will miss that from her.
Yes.
I mean,
That
I think she's a
little
pretty.
style.
Yeah, I think she's a beautiful woman. But I will miss her jewelry. I mean, I was like, where'd you get that?
I know, it's so
Right.
unique. I wonder if she makes it, maybe.
No, well, she's living off the grid. Maybe she'll
She's
start
got
selling
time
it.
on her
I don't know.
hands.
Maybe she'll start selling it. I
Sorry,
want
I
some.
interrupted you.
Oh, no worries. Let's talk about, though, they had more to the date. They went to the karaoke bar, I guess. And Tim actually called up Sarah L., which she's the lady that lost her fiance to cancer. So they've had a very passionate relationship this far, almost just on an emotional level as opposed to anything else, not physical. But he called her out. She thought that was just so sweet. She was really touched by it. But again, the matchmakers pointed out, you did not sing with him, you sang to him, and it was your performance, and that's not what he wanted. He wanted to be able to have the date with you, which I have to say, I didn't see that as a viewer when I was watching it. I was like, wow, she has a really good voice that I was not expecting.
Right.
And two, he has to be impressed by that because he's a musician. He's got to be kind of into that a little bit. I never thought the way that the matchmakers were like, it could have been better. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better if you would have played with him.
I totally agree with you. When she went up there and was like, oh, I'm going to do a little country, and he's like, hey, I like country. And then she just starts, flirting and
Doing her
singing.
thing.
Yeah, she was
I
really
was
into
like,
it.
okay, girl, you got this.
Yeah.
And so when the matchmaker said that, I was so surprised
was I.
because, like you said, he wants to probably be with someone who has a good voice and has an interest in music and enjoys singing and being on stage.
Right.
Well, she showed all those things.
Exactly.
So, but
That's why I think that they pointed out it wasn't bad.
Right.
You didn't do anything wrong necessarily, but it also wasn't as good as it could have been because of that.
But this is a fast competition. So if you say, and I think it might have been Tracy who said, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. So to say, oh, it was nice, but it could have been better.
She lost playing
right,
time.
She lost completely.
Yeah.
She lost that time.
Tim also, he took 3 ladies, Danielle, Sarah, and CM on a helicopter ride, which on my bucket list, let me just point that out.
Oh, yeah.
We were kind of sitting there like, a little bit jealous. But then Sarah was given the task, not Sarah L., the other Sarah, brunette Sarah. She was given the task of asking him, tell me 3 things about you that makes you stand out from other guys. Which, if you think about that, way to put someone on the spot.
Seriously.
That's a serious question.
Because if someone were to come at us that way, I feel like we would be like, well, I know it sets me apart, but, what do you want to disclose at that point in time in the relationship, But I don't know.
She needed to ask a power question, though, because I wasn't really familiar with her. I was just like, I haven't caught, and I really can identify all these ladies. So the matchmakers are giving them these kind of questions to kind of move them up and really make power moves so they stand out. And that's a question that definitely stood out because he was like, well, I think my family, and so it's a question that reveals a lot, and it gave her a chance to say, well, I'm different because of X, Y, and Z also.
Exactly.
So it moved her ahead in the competition.
Yeah, and she said, I'm a teacher during the week, but I'm a little bit of a bad girl on the weekends. And I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Because it did. She, learned more about Tim, and at the same time, Tim learned more about her. So I thought it was a bold but great question.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think that, Sarah even said this herself, his answers could not have been more perfect. It was exactly what she was looking for. So not only did the question represent her well, but his answers represented him just the same.
Exactly.
So it worked out perfectly. He did kiss CM when they had their one-on-one time. She spoke to him again in French. Girl keeps pulling that card out. Not all of us can do that, sweetheart. So let me just say that.
Gotta use what works for you, though. That French is no joke.
That French, it's pretty sexy.
Her big move, and matchmakers pointed this out too, was, do you want me to tell you what I just said, or do you want me to show you? So she knows what she's doing. No language barrier there. She's playing the game just the same. So
yes.
And obviously she showed him.
Let me just say, that works every single time.
Yeah, when do you have a guy really pass? No, just tell me.
Yeah.
You don't have to show me.
Every
just tell
single
me.
time that works.
Like,
every single time.
Okay.
And she's the only girl that actually can give a French
That's
kiss.
True.
Sarah L., she was put into the bottom 2 as well. She was the one that sang karaoke for the reasons that we listed before. But thankfully, she was saved, and Miss Christina went
back in.
Yep. She left. We saw
Not
it
quite
coming.
not a shocker.
No.
I could have called that.
Me too. I did call that one. I was like, pack
His
it up.
body
honey.
language, No way.
He was not into it. They
No.
lost. They had that chemistry in the first week, you know, playing the piano, and then it would kind of just.
And even her body
Flatlined.
language in the garden, she was like standing as if she was like super cold.
Yeah.
And I felt like she just knew, okay,
She
I'm
knew
going
it was
home.
coming.
Yeah.
She's a different person than when the show first started. When the show started, she was into music. She plays the piano, and they kind of
and
connected on that.
they were totally cuddling during the
Totally.
piano.
And then she became this ex-lesbian, nothing against it, who now wants to live off the grid. That was not the way she was
No.
presented to, I don't think, the matchmakers, and definitely not Tim.
Yeah.
But Tim is probably happy that she did come out with that, because
he was able
if
to
he
let
found
her
out
go.
later, that,
Absolutely.
you know, so.
It's a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Really quickly, before we move on to Ben, if you guys are watching us on AfterBuzzTV.com or watching us on YouTube, make sure you still go over to iTunes and subscribe, check us out. Make sure that you comment, like, let us know what you think. If we're not doing what you want to hear, let us know. We'll switch it around for you. We love to hear your comments. Good feedback, bad feedback. We'll do what we can to help you out.
And
Yes.
5 stars.
Yes, we like this 5 stars.
Yeah.
We love 5 stars.
5 stars.
And call in. We always like guests.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear what you guys have to say.
Are you ready for Love America?
Are you ready? All right, on to Ben. He, Mr. Romance over here,
Ben,
took
Ben.
the ladies to a vineyard.
Of course.
I mean, how romantical.
So romantic.
Come on. He is left with Carrie, Taryn, Allie, Beth, Renee, Angela, and Lindsay. He still has a whole bunch of ladies left.
Oh, yes.
Tons of ladies to kiss, because
Yes.
that's what Ben is into.
Right?
Tons of ladies to kiss.
I mean, it's going to get to the point where we can count who he hasn't kissed as opposed to who he can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or who he has not.
He's a little bit different than Ernesto.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
He came on the
Opposite.
game with his tongue wagging, like he was ready to
Seriously.
go.
Happy
One.
birthday. Let me just kiss ya.
Hey, he's a passionate guy. You can't
I'm
doubt
not
him of
complaining,
that,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not saying anything.
Nothing wrong
I'll take a
with
kiss
it.
from Ben for my birthday.
No doubt. Mine's coming up soon.
Happy birthday.
Awesome. Allie and Carrie, they want Taryn gone. That's kind of how this whole thing started off, which I was really surprised of. I have to say that Allie was actually one of the girls that was involved in the controversial drama, talking behind the back, just because she seems like such a sweetheart. But then later in the episode, we saw that she was talking about how Carrie shouldn't be there.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think Homegirl can kind of make up her mind, other than she knows that she wants to be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The claws are coming out.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
with this group. Maybe, I mean, some with Ernesto's ladies also, but this group, from the moment they found out about Carrie's background, it has been on and cracking and popping.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, you figure you have to fight the fight now, because she's still there, she's still kicking, which means more than anything, because if he's keeping her around, there's a reason for it, which
Yeah.
is such a threat to the other girls.
Exactly. The threat is what's causing the fire. And I think there actually is a threat, because he keeps pulling Carrie out and he is keeping her around, and we can all tell there's a huge chemistry. So
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of hers. I
I'm
don't like
not
them
either.
together. I want her booted. What do we need to do? Let's get a writing campaign. I want her out. I don't like her energy. I think she's totally there
Yep.
for other purposes, not Ben. I think it's a really selfish thing.
I think she's there because it's jealousy.
Absolutely. And this
Yeah.
week, I think she showed it much more than any other week before. Like, she needs to be out.
Yeah.
I mean, her task from the matchmaker was, to get Ben to trust you. You have to tell him, and then you have to show him,
Right.
and then he needs to believe you. If he
Right.
doesn't do that, then it's a lost cause. You need to go home anyways. But I think that she followed the tasks very well. Unfortunately, we just weren't too happy with the results of it. She caught him to start off to show,
Okay.
let's talk about this, because we were like a little irritated while watching. Tell everyone, Jess.
Okay, first of all, how she caught him, like, that wasn't even a fall. That was like, oh, ooh. I mean, if he actually fell in her arms, they would have definitely both fallen.
Right. Well, he doesn't trust her.
No.
So he was bracing himself completely.
She didn't really let him fall.
No.
She let him lean, and she was there
Exactly.
to stop him from falling,
Right.
but she never really let him fall.
Yeah, he didn't even fall. She was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you're done. Stop.
Right.
Now
I did
are
my
you ready to
task.
catch me? Yeah, she is very good at making everything about her. We've seen that this far. I don't know if it's just who she is or if it's her strategy while she's on there. But whatever it is, she's doing a good job at it because she's even finding the way. After Ben caught her, he let her fall a little bit closer to the ground to make her think that he wasn't going to catch her. But then, dropped her, started kissing her, which we've seen him do before. Just but
that's
started
no
kissing
big
her,
deal.
which means so much to her because they have the past, so if he's trying to kiss her, she's embracing all of it. But then it kind of like hurt me because I'm trying to believe her, but then when he said to Carrie, I miss you, she said, yeah.
Exactly.
And then smiled and kissed him. She never once reciprocated and said, I missed you too.
Right.
She didn't say anything good back to him except for, yeah.
And all she said is, yeah, remember, I'm the new improved. Like me better. It's always about her.
Totally.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, no matter what, she'll turn it and say, yeah, I'm so much better. And, oh, we have a future together. And, oh, me and me and me. Never Ben.
Right.
And she wouldn't stop kissing him. It just, she was just grabbing and holding on to him. If I was in the same position, maybe I'd do the same thing, but for different reasons. It just felt really desperate. It was like, I have him now. Like he said, I'm afraid she's just luring me in. And I think that's exactly, he just feels as if she's pulling him in and sucking him in back into this black hole. And I don't think he wants to go back in it, but he doesn't have the strength or the wherewithal or whatever it is to pull himself out of it right now.
I just think, I want Ben just to realize that she needs to go. She's not in there for the right reasons. But I think when he's with her, he feels safe, and it's like,
it's comfort.
It's comfort.
Yeah.
And he just needs to wake up and hope. I don't know when he's going to realize, but I wish he could see what we're seeing.
Yeah, Matt said it almost perfectly. I've said personally how much I just love what Matt has to say, and I want him to talk more on every episode. Yeah. But he put it perfectly. He was like, I still have my opinion of you, and I don't trust you.
No.
You guys may trust each other now, but I don't trust you, and I think that we're still seeing that as well as a viewer. But she's playing it well. But if you put that in real life and you see, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, nor would she be on the show if he broke up with her.
Right.
Because he would go after her before this even happened. He wouldn't bother going on this journey. It's the fact that she broke up with him, which I think is just kind of, you can't help it. When your ex breaks up with you, you are constantly in the future, would things really be different? What if they really have changed? I didn't want things to end with them. They wanted it, but now they want me back. So maybe it could be good again. You walk that line. You really don't know, which is why I think that he's still keeping her around, obviously, is because he is actually trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
she was someone that was so important to him, even though it was 5 years ago. He's willing to bring that into his future because he cared for her so much if she's not the same person, which is what she's so adamant about. But he still liked what they had.
I just don't understand that he got his heart broken. If someone actually hurt me to the point where they just broke up with me and didn't even give me a reason, there's no way I would turn back to them. I don't understand how he can actually even look at her and think about getting back together with her when she hurt him.
True.
She left him.
Yeah, I don't like the hold that she has on him.
She has it though.
But I do, at least, even though she's still there, I like that he's still standing his ground. He's still saying, you left me.
Yeah.
And he keeps reminding her of that.
Right.
You said things didn't work, and I don't trust you because of everything. So he's not letting it go and just starting fresh yet.
Yeah.
Which I think is good because she doesn't deserve it, to be honest.
No.
I don't think that
No
she
way.
has earned it. But at least he's trying to stay as open as possible, which I can respect. Unfortunately, I haven't seen this work out well in the past or ever, so I just don't believe it. I don't trust it.
But we also learned this episode, which I don't think we heard before, that not only did she break up with him, but shortly thereafter, she got back with her ex.
Yes.
And that's another, to me, nail in the coffin. Get rid of her.
Red flag.
But I don't know. She clearly has power over him. He knows it. She definitely knows it. If she didn't think she had any power, she would never have come on this show. She's playing it to the, seeing how much she can play it out and see how long he'll keep her around.
Yep.
And unfortunately, she's winning right now.
Lindsay actually, she pointed that out when she got put in the bottom two, had to go down to the garden. We didn't really know that much about her, so we didn't think that they had a relationship. We saw her going, but she called Carrie out on it. She was like, look, she's blatantly said, I'm here
Watch
to
out.
I'm here to make my ex jealous.
Yeah, she's the mole.
So
Lindsay's the mole. She was just
We found her.
Lindsay said, watch
scandal
out for
watcher?
Carrie.
We found the mole, guys. But the other two, well, Beth, we saw a good connection with them. She didn't do the whole lingerie thing that Matt was hoping for, but we think that she, in a classy way, she still opened up in the way that we wanted her to. Angela.
And she gave up her job completely.
That's true.
Yes. And she mentioned that she had 2 weeks, paid vacation, and she had 1 week non-paid vacation, and that time was up because now we're in the 4th week and she's still there, and she forfeited her job instead of going back. So
she deserved
kudos
those
to her.
brass balls.
She did.
I love that.
I know.
I love the brass
Once again,
balls.
Matt, good one.
Send them this way. I love the brass balls.
Right. Angela, she was the virgin. Tracy wanted her to do something bold so that she stood out, and she did do that. And she's gorgeous, by the way. We talked about that.
Oh. She's really pretty.
So pretty.
She's
Which is why,
really pretty.
and Ben even points that out, you're perfect. She seems like untouchable to him at the moment.
She's the pageant queen.
Yeah, so he's still trying to, I think, get comfortable with her because he's just more in awe more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that can be intimidating.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to be the first person to do something like that? I don't really know.
And not only, but you're so gorgeous, any guy
Right.
would want you. Me,
Totally.
And Allie, she's one of the twins on the show. Matt wanted her to role play the morning after, which I think that she actually did in a very non-awkward way. I was expecting that to not be an easy transition for her, especially because she's come off as this fun, quirky little, ball of fire that just wants to have fun, and she's just full of excitement. I was like, this is not going to be clean. This is not going to go over well. And she totally did it well.
Totally pulled it off.
Yeah, she totally pulled it off. He didn't think anything of it. I don't think that he thought it was a question from the matchmaker, so he wasn't too suspicious. It's like, what? Where did that come from? And his answer was so great. He said, I'll make you breakfast in bed, which we kind of were like, oh,
And
so
that's so
Cried.
cute. But she
Yeah,
cried. I mean, you don't cry if someone says that. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
But you're not like, oh my God.
Right.
I was like, what is wrong with her?
That's one of the emotion things that the matchmakers have pointed out. Thankfully, she didn't do that in front of him, because if she did that in front of him,
That's true.
whew, I mean, she would have
at
gone
the
down
same
to the
time-
garden, I think, because he'd be like,
Yeah.
how unstable are you? It's just breakfast. It's eggs or French toast or
Right.
something.
I'm
But
not even that great of a cook. Well, he did say he was a good cook. He did say he was a good
he
cook.
did.
yeah, he's not writing any cookbooks, but
Right.
he
But then
knows
at
what
the
he's
same
doing.
time, I kind of felt bad for her. For her to actually get so emotional just for breakfast in bed, this girl, she really needs to have more respect for herself and expect more from whoever she is dating or has dated.
Well, that's what Matt said. He was like,
Yeah.
that just shows that you need to demand more from the men in your
Yeah.
life. Which also means that that's great advice for her, but that may not mean that she's a great match for Ben at this time.
Right.
Take that and move on and do something else.
Yeah, I agree. Renee, she was actually, we didn't get to see much of their date either, because Beth kind of stole him back
She
to
got
finish her
robbed.
date.
Yeah,
But I
she
have to
took
say-
him away and she went right back.
Right back to him. I don't think that she's really shown that she's worthy to be around
Yeah.
anyways. But Lindsay and Renee were in the bottom two. They went down to the garden, and Ben did eliminate Lindsay. We didn't know much about her, so we weren't
We
too
didn't
upset.
even see their one-on-one.
Right, because we
Right.
didn't have the connection with her, so doubt that he would have the connection with her. We didn't see it. Didn't even make air, so the producers didn't feel too strongly
Exactly.
about it.
Drop that bomb, though.
Although
we'll
her
see.
hair is long and gorgeous.
Yeah. And we'll see if Renee, if she comes back next week, or if she just ends up in the bottom two.
She has a masculine energy to me. So to me, it's like
Very tomboy.
with the Tim and Haley kind of thing, where it's kind of
Right.
like buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get that energy from her when it comes to the two of them.
I
To be
agree.
honest, I don't really know much about her, so can't really add anything there.
Yeah, not one of our top favorites.
No.
Moving on to Ernesto.
Ernesto!
He's still, or was, I should say, the kissing virgin on the show.
Was.
Not anymore.
That's right.
The race for the first kiss is officially over.
Shut it down.
But he let us kind of believe that it was still going on, or at least the producers let us believe that it was going on for the
so
first
the
part of
girls
his
all
episode.
still think that.
Exactly, because Shandy, she has no intention. She
No.
got the first kiss. She has no intention of letting any of the girls know.
Who would have known the garden is such a romantic spot?
Oh, I know. What was that? I was like,
A
and they
little
were like,
tap on the back.
Dreams are made and hearts are broken down there in the garden.
they almost broke the set. He was like leaning up against the set. I was like, what is
in
this?
that little locker room, and they even had a little cute little laughing session. Like, this is so romantic. What a
Right.
romantic spot, he said, or something.
Yeah.
And when they came up, like, exactly. And when they came up, their faces, like, they totally covered it up. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like we hadn't touched each other. Like, Nice to see you.
Yeah.
It was so
Pageant
great.
girl, she knows what she's doing. She's got
Shandy's-
her face on.
Got
She,
it.
she does not play.
Ernesto's date, it was really cute though. He said that I've kept everyone kind of in my comfort zone this far in all the dates that we've done. They've remodeled homes and such, and now finally he's out of his comfort zone. They're cooking, which out of my comfort zone too. That would not be something that
I would be so bad at that.
when they suggested, you know, all of the ladies are going to make their
own.
dish for me, I was like, what is my dish? Like macaroni and cheese, maybe?
Yeah, like PB&J.
That was mine. Don't steal mine. Mine's peanut butter and honey.
Oh, ooh.
See?
Oh,
There you
Peanut
go.
butter
what
and
about-
jelly,
what
peanut
about
butter,
bread?
honey, peanut butter banana.
Banana.
There you go.
And honey.
I would have felt horrible. I'd be like,
Look at us, guys. What we have to offer here at AfterBuzz. But we got to see a little drama again between Elba and Shandy, which I have to say I think is strictly coming off of the pageants.
Totally.
For sure.
I don't think that they would really think that they're that big of a threat, except for the fact that, I mean, they are a threat. We see that because they're gorgeous girls. They both have just as much to offer. Polar opposites still, but because of their pageant situation, neither one are too fond of each other. Elba in particular, she's not down with Shandy.
No. Well, they probably came in thinking, oh, I have something above everyone. Like,
Totally.
I'm Miss Blah. And then one of your competitors is
Yeah.
the other Miss.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but Shandy beat her out. She was,
Yes.
Elba was the runner-up.
Yes.
So, I mean, right there, you're automatically, of course, threatened by that.
But I think Alba has the problem with Shandy, not the other way around. Because Shandy's never said anything about Alba. It's like she's, you know, Alba's like,
Right.
Shandy's the person I don't get along with.
Yeah.
And that's probably because you're right. She was second runner-up. Shandy was first.
And, like, Shandy says, like, goofy things like, okay, healthy, not healthy. That's obvious. Like, why? How is that rude, or how does that cause drama?
know.
Right.
I mean,
She's
I think Alba is just nervous, scared, and just going off anything Shandy says.
Yeah,
but
she's
the-
very wound up.
The internet comment was worse than healthy, not healthy. When
I
she-
completely agree.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the biggest dig to me ever. I was like, whoa.
Like, who cares if you got it off the internet?
Game is on now.
Seriously.
Right.
Yeah, it
They
was,
had to share the workspace, and it was going so well. They were doing okay. Elba got her time with Ernesto. She slipped a note in his back pocket.
That was
then
kinda cute, actually.
Shandy
It was
Shandy got her time with Ernesto, and then Elba just kind of had to get her digging. You know, he was like,
Yeah.
"Is this your own recipe?" She's like, "Yeah, this is mine." She was like, "Nope, internet.
yeah.
Sorry."
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
see
which
now.
that's when you're put in that position, I don't doubt Shandy. She feels like she needs to reciprocate and say something back because she just kind of called her out, you know? So
Yeah.
why not defend yourself? But by doing that in the way she didn't really call her out per se. She just kind of said it as it is. Just
Yeah.
exactly like you said, Jess.
Yep.
Healthy, not healthy.
Right.
So there you have it.
Take the facts.
But Ernesto really liked that comment.
Yeah.
I mean, he mentioned it. He was like, oh, I like that. And then he even mentioned it again on their
Right.
one-on-one time. So to be honest, I didn't think Ernesto would actually think that was that funny, to be
Right.
honest. Because I thought, you know, he's such a great guy. He's so nice. And that was a dig.
Well, I think everyone likes a little fiery personality, and she's definitely showing
Yeah.
her fiery
And
side
actually, the
with
fact that she did say it so, like, nonchalant, like, right away, the timing was perfect, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
But,
timing was good.
Yeah.
And he asked Elba on their one-on-one, like you said, you know, where did that come from? But
Yeah.
at least I have to say, at least she was honest, and she didn't kind of beat around the bush and was like, oh, try to defend it, make light of it. She was like, she's my biggest threat.
Yeah.
I needed to do something to kind of jab at her a little
She is
bit.
very straightforward.
But if I had 5 minutes with this guy, I'm not going to waste 2.5 of them talking about the fact that I don't like Shandy.
I love that you pointed that out because all of the drama that's going on in the house, and I believe that Lindsay said that about Ben as well and Carrie. She was like, I just wish that I wouldn't have spent my time. I mean, all the girls have
Right.
from Ben's team, I think, have said that actually. I wish I didn't spend my time worrying about Carrie because I'm the one that's leaving.
Right.
We just
Yeah.
gave her more attention, which is what she wanted. You know, so by doing that, you're putting your focus elsewhere on like other than yourself, and you need that. You need that spotlight. We see that people are running out of time. And,
Absolutely.
and they're falling out. Sonia, they just had cocktails and dinner at a bar. She felt like it was, you know, getting set up by mutual friends and it was going great. And we were uncomfortable watching it.
I don't mean to laugh, but it was so awkward. It was so awkward and uncomfortable. So when she came back and the matchmakers were asking her, and she was like, I just thought it was really great and we're getting to know each other. I was like, did you see the same thing I saw?
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for her because I was like, if you think that went well,
I have no idea.
How bad have your bad dates been?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's
maybe
not
they just
go
don't
well.
talk.
Yeah. I mean, she was even sitting there kind of, she couldn't come up with anything to say on her own. She was like, so
What else do you want to know about me?
what else? Yeah. And he was like, well, what else can we talk about?
Horrible.
Every time.
Yeah.
It was very awkward and uncomfortable. But, I mean, he stayed a gentleman. He was very political about it. Like, he played it okay, but we just saw that he was like, chemistry, nope, nothing there to offer.
She's out.
But we
She's
did
out.
see that her and her sister clearly very close because she starts crying.
Yeah.
And mascara was running, and she clearly was not wearing waterproof mascara.
No.
Maybe you want to do
And we
that
saw
next
that
time.
because before they even started talking, we saw that there was mascara under her eyes. So we're like,
Yeah.
there were tears, and then it was edited out, and then there were more tears because
You
there was
ladies
mascara everywhere.
Are harsh, man. You guys are harsh.
I'm sorry. I had to point it out because it was just bad.
But I have to say, I get it. I love my sister too, but she never explained. Not that there has to be an
Yeah,
explanation, but she was just like my sister, and the waterworks started. There was never.
Yeah.
There could be something
There
cry-worthy there,
Right.
but everything that we've seen these girls cry about so far is breakfast in bed and stuff that is just, you don't need to cry about. You don't need to get emotional about that. This is why ladies have the reputation that they do, girls. We get emotional in situations when we don't need to.
Yes.
It's a tough crowd.
Right? Hey, we're just saying it how it is here at AfterBuzz. We're being brutal. Shandy, actually, she was put in the bottom 2 for the reason of she played an 8 when she could have played at a 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they're just being a little picky, but I think that was also to help her relationship with Ernesto get stronger, which we saw that was the result of it, because if he decided to bring her back, you know that he wants her there.
Right.
True.
And not only does he want her there, he wants her there to make out with him.
A lot.
Oh, yes.
Up
and
against
we
the
saw
set.
that.
The first one, Shandy, though, she pointed out, like, it's kind of fun that this is my little secret. I
Yeah.
don't plan on letting anybody know about this, which I think is smart, one, because Elba's still in the house, and she doesn't want to put, like, the spot on her back, for everyone to kind of come at her, even more so than they're already doing. But it's also, like she said, it's kind of fun. You know, like, we have our
I
own
agree.
secret now.
Yeah. Like,
Especially
no one needs to know that we have, I stole his first kiss.
Right?
Yeah, because the first kiss race was on, and now it's over.
But they don't know.
They don't know.
But I thought that their kiss was very intimate and
yeah.
romantic, even though it was in the garden. But I mean, how he tapped her on the back and she turned around. And
That was a kiss.
against the wall. Okay, I'm dreaming now.
I have to say, the camera shots that this production is getting of the kisses that are happening on the show are very up close and personal.
Oh,
you
yes.
see, kind of skin pigment. You're seeing all the action of what's going on. So we are there in that kiss, and their kiss was very passionate. It was award worthy, like Shandy said.
yeah.
Put a crown on it and a sash on it because that one was a winner.
It was Ernesto definitely picked the right moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thankfully, Shandy, she did stick around. It wasn't just a kiss goodbye. She's sticking around for some more.
Yes.
And Sonia, who we thought was going, said her goodbyes. She was a little emotional again because I think she was hoping more from the experience, but we didn't really feel here nor there about it.
Right.
Now we got to get some more first date practice, Sonia.
Yeah, and Tracy, when they actually listed at the end of the episode, they had all the girls up in the platform, and we got to see how everything's matching up now. We got to see how many girls, that each guy is left with and what matchmaker they're from. And Tracy, our girl Tracy, is falling behind.
bottom.
Yeah, she only has 4 ladies left.
Well, she doesn't even have any with Ernesto.
Right.
No. She's completely out of the game there. So, I mean, she's not even featured in the episode.
Right.
So, it's kind of interesting that she doesn't get to give, her commentary and her advice to the other ladies because, they're on teams. They want to
Yeah.
win this as
Right.
well. But she's kind of fallen out. So, hopefully her girls can really up it. Is it the coaching? Is it the selection of the girls at the beginning?
No, that's different. But Matt has, 5 or 6? He's not... far ahead of her.
Amber has what I think like 8,
and I think that Matt has 7.
Okay, 7.
So
they're
he's
pretty
still
up
there.
there,
they're up
and
there.
she's at the bottom.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone's style's different. Maybe it was the girls. Maybe the girls didn't say everything they should. Go back to Christina.
Yeah.
She didn't tell.
Yeah.
It wasn't full disclosure there, so.
It's hard to say because we don't
Yeah.
really see enough.
It's
True,
definitely
true.
still even playing field because we lose 3 girls in one episode. So if they all come from Amber,
There you go.
then
Exactly.
we're down to where we
Exactly.
need to be. It's even
Right.
again. Let's go ahead and move on to news and gossip because we have some
Please.
exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, I've said this before, and I will say it again. I am not lying to you guys this time. Next Sunday, 9 p.m., we will have Mr. Ben Patton in studio with us. The time has come, viewers and listeners, so I'm sorry that the scheduling conflict with the show and everything has kind of gotten in the way, but we're holding up our end of the promise, and he will be here in studio with us. He's going to watch the episode with us. We're going to get to break it down for you guys. We'll also get a little special guest segment with him, so...
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's an award. That's award winning right there.
We
get a
are
prize.
excited.
So make sure that you stay tuned next week for that. And let's talk really quickly about our predictions.
Prediction.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Tara, what do you
I
think
have one
we're
last
gonna...
thing, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, fell, let's hear it.
Tracy McMillan
Okay.
was a guest here on another show,
I saw that.
so you can catch her. She obviously talked about Ready for Love, things like that. So you guys can check her out. Just look it up on AfterBuzzTV.com and all that fun stuff. So,
Oh.
Make sure to check out our
you
girl
know what?
Tracy.
We might even like put that as part of Ready for Love in there somehow.
Ooh, let's do it.
Categorize it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tara, what do you think we're going to see next week? I mean, we have 3 guys in every episode now,
Right.
so hopefully we'll get to see as much from all of them. But what are you looking for, or hoping for?
I'm thinking that Shandy's going to hold this first kiss secret for all of 2 seconds. And it will be at the top of the Ernesto segment next week. And that's going to be one of the things that sends Alba over the edge and she decides to leave.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good
Are
prediction.
you inside of my mind right now? Jess, what about you?
Well, I just hope that Ben sees what we're seeing about Carrie. Although I
Hello.
don't think it's going to happen next episode, so I think Renee is going to be gone.
I agree.
There's just no chemistry.
Right.
Both of you. Yep, I think Renee's out of there. Hopefully our twins, I think it's going to be interesting. They're sticking around, but I want to see if there really is a connection when kind of all of the fat is trimmed. You know, when when they're forced to have the connection, when everyone's still there. And I do agree with you. I think that the Shandy kissing secret's not going to stay a secret for long, which causes Elba to no longer want to participate. But then we see in the preview that she comes up. So
Drama.
does she come back?
Stay tuned.
In the meantime, ladies, how can everyone get in touch with you until next week?
You can find me at Sika Carroll, SICA-CARROLL, on Twitter and Instagram.
You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at TJ Path to Passion.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Samantha_Laich. And you can follow all of us here at AfterBuzz on Twitter as well, at AfterBuzz TV. Until next time, we'll see you guys next Sunday at 9 p.m. with Mr. Ben Patton.
Yeah. Ben.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.